Welcome back to Multiversal Studios. Now in this video we're going to be looking at Season 1 Episode 23 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX called The Little Blautsky. Now before we jump into the video, make sure you like and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! GX breakdown videos. This episode starts with Crowler.
I have a PhD in dueling. I've earned the title Doctor, thank you.
Sorry, Dr. Crowler, scheming against Jaden as usual. With Jaden now being chosen as a dual representative for Duel Academy, this posed quite a problem for Dr. Crowler, as he probably would have preferred anyone else. Now Dr. Crowler resorts to something that I'm sure surprised most of the audience, and set up Jaden with a duel against one of the top duelists in the academy, Blautsky. Now we see Dr. Crowler collect Blautsky from a hidden underground facility, which is huge, like another secret dorm huge. Now we are led to believe that in this episode, Blautsky is the only one being kept prisoner here. However, I find that quite hard to believe. I mean, think about it. People don't just construct secret hidden facilities for nothing, especially ones that probably cost millions and millions of dollars. And you're telling me this was all done to keep one duelist in check? I don't think so. Who knows how many other duelists are being kept there in this underground facility? Dangerous people. The crazy thing is, for this to be so close to the school, and for Dr. Crowler's key to give him access, it must mean a lot of people are complicit to this blatant crime, like Chancellor Shepard, the other dorm leaders, and most importantly the person funding it all, Seto Kaiba. So let's focus on one of the captives that is shown in this episode, Blautsky. It is revealed during the duel against Jaden and Blautsky that he is being kept in the underground dorm indefinitely, meaning he isn't allowed any human contact. An image is revealed of the situation where Blautsky is being kept, which is an island surrounded by water, something Blautsky describes as paradise. This is obviously just a hologram which changes in order to please Blautsky. Now to normal people, living like this for a prolonged amount of time would be a living nightmare, and I am sure it is to Blautsky as well. However, he is so heavily sedated he doesn't even know what planet he's on. Now I don't necessarily blame Duel Academy for this. It's clear the Moki Moki is the dual spirit equivalent of a blunt. Yes, Duel Monsters invented weed first. Now this doesn't only affect Blautsky, but everyone else in a certain radius of himself, and we see it firsthand with Jaden's friends.
Goodness me, that's not a monster, it's a marshmallow.
He's so cute, like a great big fluffy pillow.
Makes me want to take a nap.
They don't immediately fall asleep, like in Pokemon when Jigglypuff sings. No, they first enter a giddy state, and after a while they fall asleep, similar to someone who's high.
Who cares? Those are just symbols the man uses to try to propagate social division.
Not that I know from personal experience, but because I read this helpful document. Why does weed make you sleepy?
They bought it.
Now let's look at the spell card Moki Moki Smackdown. Now this is the only time we see Moki Moki with a different expression, and that's a violent one. Moki Moki becomes flustered and a bright shade of red. Now when I googled the side effects of weed, it says it causes violent behaviour through increased aggressiveness, paranoia, and personality change. Now this has got to be one of the biggest personality changes ever. And yes, red also does correlate to anger, however it also does match with... In the duel, Blautsky displays tremendous dueling skills, where he almost defeats Jaden, showing why he was the #1 duelist previously to Zane. So if Blautsky was the #1 duelist, what happened? So as the episode explains, one day Blautsky ran into Moki Moki, which changed his dueling style forever, and he started to affect the other duelists around him. So what did they do? They escorted him off. They literally made him disappear, without a trace. So what about his friends he had made during his time at school? He must have been popular as the #1 duelist, as they are always treated with admiration and awe like Zane is. Did Duel Academy erase his identity? Only using him as a duel assassin, taking him out of his cage when they needed him, and it was necessary for the school. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was the plot for the movie Suicide Squad. If you think about it, the story of Blautsky is a pretty dark one, especially since it's revealed that he's been locked away for almost 3 years. Now in the duel versus Blautsky, Jaden becomes aware of the situation, and he rightfully calls it out for what it is.
You mean a jail?
Jail's such an ugly word. We prefer mandatory restraint habitat.
Just as you'd expect from our protagonist, calling out the wrongs as he sees them. But then tell me why at the end of the episode, everything remains the same. Blowski is still locked away in the underground facility, and Jaden doesn't really do anything to rectify the messed up situation. Apart from, defeating him in a duel and stripping away his previous title as the #1 duelist. I know it's not technically Jaden's responsibility, but as the protagonist of the show, you'd expect there to be a wholesome resolution. And we know that Blowski is still trapped under there, because later on in the season, Dr. Crawler uses Blowski again in the Gen X tournament. I think Yugioh Jex did what it does best, and presents a problem in this circumstance is the trapped Obelisk Blue student, Blowski, and has them duel with the protagonist Jaden, where the wrongdoing is revealed, and then moments later is just brushed under the rug, and we're just supposed to pretend like it was never an issue in the first place. Similar to what actually happened to Damon, which I covered in this video, so make sure you go check that out. But apart from that, the duel between Blowski and Jaden was kind of epic, especially the reveal of the ginormous Moki Moki King. Alright, that's the end of the video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you go check out my other videos, and subscribe. Until next time.